What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Silver and Blood video. Guys, we got some big tips for you that'll help you through some combat. Now, if you haven't checked out my last video regarding the meta team and the huge update that's coming, go check that out. That team will help carry you pretty much throughout the entire content of the game, as far as you can go before you hit a massive wall, obviously, in terms of power. Then it's just maybe just sitting around being idle and just waiting for you to get more power. But while you're doing that, there are ways to beat a lot of content with a lot more difficulty and battle power than yourself. I'm going to show you guys a little tip that'll help you along the way, something many of you probably don't know and should know, and I'm hoping this information will help you guys kind of maximize the amount of damage you do and set up your ultimates properly. Now, a couple things I want to point out here. This setup here is going to be my meta team. This is my whale account, not my free-to-play account. I'm just going through content on my whale account so I can understand what I should be doing on my free-to-play account and then being able to maximize that information and provide it to you guys. Now, you guys can see this is hard mode 3-6. This is a tough fight. Okay, this is one that's like way above my BP level, but a little over 16k, a little over 15k as a matter of fact. And then we have ourselves obviously Clive, who's going to be a massive boss here, who does a ton, and I mean a ton of damage. But what I want to show you guys is two little things that will help you perhaps get through some content and help you guys out. So you guys can see, here's my team. Okay, so I've got myself Lamia, I've got myself Starry-Eyed Ione, I've got Bella, I've got Agris, and I've got myself Acapella here. Okay, so this is the team I'm running with here. And then, of course, Clive, Blade of Ganelin, is going to hit me really damn hard. Now, a couple things I want to point out. The goal for this team setup is going to be running Starry-Eyed first with her shield, then Acapella, and then Lamia. But watch what happens when you run manually and you don't set it up correctly. Okay, I'm going to show you guys real quick. You're going to see that the randomness in the bottom ends up happening. You guys saw that, right? We have ourselves 3 units right here that are in random, and this is not the ultimate that I want. So when this happens to you guys, there's a way to fix this. Okay, so you definitely don't want to deal with that. You want this little change here to occur and never to happen to you ever again. Now, to avoid this issue, okay, to avoid this, there's a way to do it. I'm going to show you guys real quick how to do this. I'm going to restart the stage. Okay, now if you leave it as is and you let that run, you're going to have major problems, because you ideally want to have a buff. So when you're doing content where you're not struggling with survivability, you want to go Acapella first, then Starry-Eyed, and then Lamia, or whoever else your DPS is, right? In this situation, I want to do my survivability first, and then my buff, and then my damage. Okay, so what I want a specific order here. Now, I'm going to show you guys again. I'm going to go ahead and do this again. You guys will see right here, it's going to be random. Okay, this time I got these 3 instead. Okay, hold on. Okay, you guys can see in the bottom here, I've got myself Lamia, I've got myself Acapella, and Starry-Eyed Ione. Now, this is the setup I actually want to happen. Now, I'm going to restart this again. I'm going to show you guys one more time what ends up happening when you are doing this per random, right? So, look, watch this. Okay, this time I got them again. That's great. Let's try this again. Okay, let's go set up again. You guys can see here, now the lineup has changed, right? Completely different. Not the same lineup whatsoever. This time I got Starry-Eyed, I got Bella, and I got Agris. Not who I want on my team to be set up, okay? So this is an important note, guys. Now, watch this. To fix this problem so you never have this issue, what you want to do is you want to restart the stage. And before you do the stage, you actually want to click this little arrow over here. You want to make sure you set up your ultimates here. Initial hand edit is what it's called. So this case, I'm going to always, and I mean always, get the setup that I want without any headaches or hassle. So I'm going to go ahead and continue here. I'm going to hit this, and you'll see every single time this setup will always be here now, without fail. This setup will always be available to me now, and I don't have to worry about any RNG or randomness to cause any issues for these units to pop up. This is a very important feature, because this feature allows us to continuously do the ultimates that we want. So again, I'll restart this again just to show you guys the ultimate stays, and I'll even switch it around a couple times just so you guys can see that it does in fact work. Okay, so look, again, exact same team lineup. Exact same team, okay? Hit the arrow button, set that team up, and I'm ready to rock and roll, okay? So now I can adjust this however I want, right, with manual. Now, if you do this on auto, what auto allows us to do is to have this team do the ultimates in that exact order that you put it in, okay? So that's very important to remember that. So you guys can see that order is now done, and now all of a sudden I've got another order set up, okay? So you can see here, I'm about to cast my ultimate here, right? There it is. Do this ultimate. Now we got the same ultimate again set up for all 3 of them. Okay, very important to remember this. This is a very neat trick. Now, let's just say you want to switch it up. So you want to switch it up. Okay, let's just restart the stage again, and you want to use a different setup this time. Perhaps you don't need the survivability. You want to have more damage dealing, right? So we'll go ahead and take Starry Eyed out, put Acapella in. Let's just say I want to cast both of these instead. Now this won't activate Blood Moon. That's a pretty big deal to remember. Or let's say I want to put my tank ultimate first in order to summon an ad, and I want to do this instead right here. Watch. If I run this now, you'll see that those units will pop up automatically right there. This is a very, very handy tool, guys. This is almost a prerequisite for any battle. In order to not have that RNG screw you over and have to redo the battle numerous times, you absolutely want to set this up like this so you don't have to worry about units going in, doing ultimates at the wrong time, or just ultimates popping off when they're not supposed to be popping off. So that trick right there is probably one of the most, if not the most important combat trick you can do in the game. Look at this. They're all going to gather. See how they're all gathered there? That's very important to note that, okay? So here, you'll see that now the organized combo that I just did right there is going to go right back to the way it was before, right? You're going to see everyone back to the way they were, and that ultimate now will continuously be added to the list as much as possible. So guys, when you're doing this battle setup, always have it go this way, okay? Always set up your ultimates the way you want to run them through the entire battle. So understand your opponent, understand who you want to use and when you want to use them, and then how you want your ultimates to be run from the get-go. This is going to be the only way you're going to win majority of the major battles, whether it's PvP, PvE, it doesn't matter. You can see here the opponent has insane amount of HP. I don't have a chance in this fight, but I just want to show you guys how a lot of this works. Now, I was able to complete a lot of the hard modes that I normally would not be able to go near with this setup, okay, and this team. Now again, I've already covered the meta team. You guys can go watch that at any time, see who I'm using. This is essentially it, with a couple different variations depending on what I'm doing. I'm currently #1 in PvP as well, allowing me to pretty much dominate both brackets on PvP and PvE in the actual trophy section, and this has been the most vital part of my success, outside of course of spending money. It's been being able to understand how some of these combat functions work and how to utilize them in battle throughout the entire game. So that's one of my biggest tips for you guys. I'm going to come up with more tips to help you folks get further, but I think this one here should help most of you guys advance in your actual gameplay, because again, you're avoiding that whole RNG section, right? And you're able to now fully maximize on the damage you're looking to deal and the ultimates you want to use. You guys can see at this point, everything is in red for me. Okay, and just so you guys are aware, when you are in red, okay, there is a penalty for all of your actual characters. There is a penalty. All of your stats are actually diminished when you are in red, so that's something to remember. You are actually going to be doing less damage, taking more damage, etc. So it's important to try to stay in the white, but when you do get into the reds and you are being penalized for your stats and being in underneath the required recommended combat power, this is where these kind of tips and tricks come in handy and actually will help you progress through the game. And hopefully this one specifically is going to help you guys go further in all content. All right, guys, remember to leave a like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.